full fight's gonna break out.
The full fight does break out. The smite battle is won by red team. We do see RSL managing to pick up that kill. Everyone is jumping inside of the Kindred. Red Milk Tea is having to jump over the wall to try and stay alive. The first blood finally comes out as the Inferno Drake comes onto the field, and look at this, lots of damage coming out right here. Random Capitals continuing this fight. Atlas barely managing to get out, and Caitlyn picking up the kill, taking down both Kindred. We do see the Black Mist coming out as they're trying to just find this into this fight. They do flash on top of the Kindred. Atlas is going to be taken very, very low. The ultimate's going to get dropped as we see that the Death Realm was brought down as well. Rogue Trader in order to stave off this Kindred. We see the Akali on the backline taking out Perpetual Dust. Does getting knocked up, having to go golden just to stay alive. The rest of Goofy has decided, you know what, the Baron's fine, but we want to get these kills first. We're just going to finish this off. The Orange trying to get their ultimate off, not able to get the horn call in order to get
there's a stack
down. That is a huge stack as the shutdown comes out for Atlas. We do see Cinetrix being brought very low. The Caitlyn getting the pot shots off. We got Cinetrix going golden, but it's only a matter and into the rest of the Goofy Goobers, and that is going to be a massive devastation to Ragnarok. The shutdown, though, going over the Kindred, but it's too little too late. Good use on that ultimate, staying alive, managed to go involved in just the last possible second for Alice, but not going to be enough, and that's going to be another set of damages. We see Red Milk Tea taking out Evan with an eye, and that is going to be the double kill for the Caitlyn on the edge of that queue.
Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Friend or Foe series, Mythic League. We have got an exciting set of games going up for you. This is match point for Goofy Goobers. Ragnarok Esports has got to do something to stem the bleeding in order to take this to a game 5. They got to take out 2 more wins from the Goofy Goobers. I am your friendly neighborhood shoutcaster, Sharogan, and I am joined once again by War Leader. And what do you know, War Leader? Right there, band number 2 on the side of Ragnarok. We've got Akali.
I asked for it, and there it is. RSL taking 2 critical picks away. They're taking away the Akali and the Seraphine. And that makes me wonder if Red Milk Tea is going to go back towards that Graves that's been banned out for the rest of the series. Now, that being said, no! It's going to be RSL taking Graves for Atlas themselves. I really like that draft adaptation.
That is really, really good. They're like, it's fine. We'll let the Graves go through, but at the same time, you know what? We're just going to take it for ourselves. Not going to let you get it because we know how powerful you are on it. We do see the Caitlyn pick coming out as a response. Caitlyn Karma on the side of Goofy Goobers. They have been loving that champion. That ADC has been doing so much work for them. That range has just been so hard for Ragnarok to deal with. It's going to be interesting to see how they choose to respond because picking up Graves, that's a very short-ranged ADC as well.
Absolutely, and so far, this Caitlyn's been really massive from the side of Raccoon Inquirer, and Karma also been on Evan with an eye every game so far, and now we're going to see that support player instead play Janna in that support role.
That's going to be really kind of interesting. Picking up another shielding support. Jenna has been seeing a lot of play lately in Pro. A very powerful ADC. It's got so much versatility. Great disengage with the tornadoes. Plus, you've got a lot of shielding ability with that ability to shield the towers as well. The Jhin pickup is a nice choice as well because while it is a bit of a slower ADC and going into a Caitlyn's going to be a little bit tricky, having those bouncing bombs to throw onto the backline to hit the Caitlyn is going to be really nice for them.
Yeah, and Jhin is going to be a pick in the meantime. RSL are going to pick up for themselves an Ornn. An answer from Goofy Goobers at the end of this first drafting phase is going to be really hard for Graves and Jhin to tear through, and it's going to be really hard for them to get this tank shred consistent damage out of the rest of their composition.
It's going to be interesting to see what I think. There's a couple of mid lane and top lane choices that Ragnarok could choose in order to try and deal with this Ornn, but already Goofy deciding to pick that up does mean that they're going to have a very, very powerful Caitlyn on that background once those ornaments come through. So that's going to be really, really scary for Ragnarok to have to deal with. Also, depending on what Drake we see on the field is going to be really important in how these two teams decide to play it out. We do see that the Mordekaiser being taken away, which is a really good choice into the Ornn because of that AP damage. And then you've got the Ahri as well being taken out of the hand of Random Capitals. Just getting him off of those mobile mid laners is so important because he's just got that fancy footwork. The mechanics are down. You've really got to be able to find a way to lock him in place. So that is some good targeted bans coming up from the side of Ragnarok. And they have clearly determined that Random Capitals is the one to be afraid of.
Yeah, taking away the Akali, the Ahri, and the Victor is going to make the Random Capitals have to go to something that we haven't seen yet. And in an interesting role reversal, Goofy Goober is taking up the Kindred for Red Milk Tea. They say anything you can do, we can do better, and are going to lock that one in. That is a ballsy choice.
That is a very ballsy choice, and I do like Goofy just being like, you know what? It's fine. If they want to go ahead and try and take away our stuff, we're just going to take away their stuff.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense the way that the series has gone. Oh my goodness, we're getting spicier and spicier as this draft goes on. Vladimir is the top lane answer into Ornn, counter scaling with scaling. Oh no, is it going to be mid lane? It might actually be the Vladimir blind in mid lane if they go through with this Tom Kench lock-in, and they are going to do it.
That is Cinetrix basically going, okay, fine, bring it. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and take the Vladimir. That is going to be a really interesting choice. And then with that Tom Kench, you've got a lot of mobility on that map with the Abyssal Passage, the Abyssal Voyage, in order to just kind of help your laners out from a bit of a distance. The Cassiopeia pickup from Random Capitals. That is it. He's basically like, fine, you don't want me to be mobile? I won't let you go anywhere.
So many gauntlets have been thrown down in this draft, and I'm so excited to see how it turns out. Now, I will say I think Goofy Goobers have a much stronger late-game composition. They have multiple damage threats in that Caitlyn and that Kindred. The Cassiopeia also very high DPS, going to tear through RSL very, very quickly. The ornaments to boot. Now, if RSL can get out to an early lead, they have the tools to do some serious damage in these mid-game fights. Vladimir Graves, very big carry potentials. Tom Kench can keep him safe. Jhin, able to set up from basically any distance. And to see how it's going to go, we're just going to have to get onto the Rift. And oh my goodness, this game has so much promise to it already.
It really, really does. It's going to be pretty exciting just to see how these two teams decide to go at it. It looks like it's basically RSL's last hurrah. And then we've got Goofy Goobers who are basically trying to go all out into this final game. So they're kind of just pulling out all the stops. Everyone's going crazy. And so it's just going to be an all-out blowout is my expectation.
I'm very excited to see it. So far, though, very standard level 1. We've been seeing it all series. Nobody's going to change it now. Just going to go to the standard 5-point rotation. But Atlas and Red Milk Tea are already going to scrap, and that's definitely going to go Atlas's way in the early game before these rotations can come through. Cinetrix stopping Random Capitals from getting in. Going to be taking a lot of damage, but healing most of it off. Random Capitals is going to win that trade, but Cinetrix being the manless champion isn't going to hate that one too bad. And if able to get the recall off, it's not going to have any problem. Cassiopeia going to match, and more spells being slung in the bottom lane. Not much is going to come through, but 20 gold over to the John is going to be nice.
Yep, it's going to be kind of nice getting that Spell Thief proc off. I do like that we saw Graves and Kindred just kind of like respecting each other, throwing some damage back and forth. Random Capitals, though, already getting a nice bit of chunk damage onto Cinetrix.
Yep, and this time, finally, in this series, the junglers are not going to be perpendicularly jungling and instead parallel jungling. Both starting on the bottom side of the map, going path towards top side. Ghost Teleport Kench is something that could be a little volatile, and if set behind, could give Ornn a free laning phase. Meanwhile, you want to punish that Ornn in the early stages of the game before it becomes a teamfight monster.
Yeah, and already, ooh, that was really close to a nice knock-up coming out from Evan right there, but that because that tornado is down does mean Steve knows they can just push up as much as they want. Perpetual Dust getting brought very low. The exhaust is going to come out in order to prevent that out. That is going to be a huge glacial coming proc as well from that Janna, and that is going to be a nice bit of trading back and forth on this bot lane.
Yeah, and I think ultimately it's going to be RSL that win that bot lane trade. They come out with an HP advantage and potions burned from both sides. Steve's going forward though, level 2.
I was going to say, you can think that comes out for the RSL. I don't know. Those Caitlyn headshots do a lot of damage early on.
And so far, very exciting bot lane. The CS has been going in favor of Caitlyn, but Jhin able to pick up a bunch of that under tower. Early trades going the way of Rogue Trader. On that Ornn in the top side, we're going to have to see jungle intervention if that's going to change anytime soon. Both junglers opting to goal clear their jungle so far. Maybe Red Milk Tea on the Kindred's looking to get involved either in the mid lane or in the enemy jungle as they're stepping out of their jungle and maybe going to meet Graves on this red buff.
Ooh, once again, we got a nice tornado knocking up Raccoon. The glacial proc's going to be as well. Those slows are really frustrating to deal with early on. And we see right here, we've got 3 members of GOOF just already invading this topside jungle, trying to force Graves out of it. And the fight's going on in the bot lane. Just like I said, this whole game is going to be exceptionally volatile as both teams are just trying to find advantages wherever they can and basically force their opponents away from whatever objectives are on the map.
Yeah, so far this invade on the blue buff going very well for the side of Goofy.
Ooh, Evan getting brought so low. Raccoon still has vision. Isn't quite able to see him, though, and able to finish him off. That is really, really scary as we see Perpetual Dusk and Evan brought solo. One Caitlyn Q is going to be devastating, but look at this. Perpetual just peppering them with those shots from a distance. Oh, man, this Jin's range is actually doing so much work. And once again, in the mid lane, we've got Red Milk Tea jumping in on Centrix, making sure he's forced back of this tower.
Yeah, and Kindred's gonna pick up her first.
Raccoon was getting a little spicy, looking for that engage. He's gonna have to flash away. That's gonna be first blood going over to the Jin.
What a good play by the side of Perpetual Dusk, and even gets Steve the Crusader's flash. So well played from the RSL bot lane, looking inspired on Death's Door.
That was really, really close. Raccoon just unfortunately misstepping and walking into that tornado. That hitbox on that tornado is so hard to judge whenever you're engaging it from the top side just because of the way it hits. It's really, really annoying. And it's just really nice to see RSL pulling out all the stops here, making sure that they know that they are not giving up on these fights just yet.
Yeah, definitely not going to just lie down and go away in the night so far. Meanwhile, Red Milk Tea.
I like this spice. We see Red Milk Tea trying to force this engage. We've got the lane gank going on. Karma stopping those backs. The back coming out from Kindred. They aren't able to quite force the RSL is not getting baited into it. They're like, it's fine. We got our first blood. We're just going to walk away and take our gold and buy ourselves some items. That's a Noon Quiver already available to the boots and double daggers on the side of Caitlyn.
Yeah, and Jin, meanwhile, that Noon Quiver is going to allow them to do so much more in these early stages of the game. Jin getting off to a very nice start is very nice, because Caitlyn infamously has this power trough in the middle of the game where Jin falls off in the later stages of the game. So Jin getting ahead means the power trough is going to last longer. Cinetrix getting a little cutout going for that pink ward. Steve the Crusader there to throw a Q in the fray, getting a little bit of damage off, but not too much going on.
Exactly. That mantra and powered Q just does so much damage early on if you're able to get caught, if you're caught in both the explosion and the initial hit. Weak side veteran just is also taking a lot of damage on this Tom Kench. Rogue Trader doing some great jobs trading back and forth. Nice knock-up coming out right here. We do see the gray health though, meaning that he's not going to have to worry about it too much. So once again, we've just basically got a pool noodle fight up here in the top lane.
And tank fight after tank fight, it's going to go in the favor of Ornn because of that late game scaling and not really able to kill each other either way. But Raccoon Acquire.
Nice engage right here. Perpetual Dusk looking for that fourth shot. Isn't quite able to get it. Does have to use it on a minion. And that's actually going to be really bad as we see Steve the Crusader waiting in this river. Kindred as well. They're almost, like you see RSL almost walking into this. They're trying to get some vision off, not quite able to do it. We see that this fight is basically going to get popped off, and Red Milk Tea does not have ultimate yet, so that means that Alice is going to manage to pick up the kill. Red Milk Tea taken out of the equation. Steve the Crusader is also going to be brought exceptionally low and then taken out. Evan accidentally taking it though, and that is going to be really, really devastating for Goofy Goobers. They're going to start falling behind here. Good jump back with the net shot, and so that means yeah, they're looking for the dive. Raccoon, though, is doing a pretty good job hiding under this turret, so it's going to be interesting to see if they're actually able to do it. Walking into the graves does mean that the Raccoon's going to get brought very, very low. They're getting these shots off, trying to do what they can. The rest of GOOF is already on their way. They're trying to save their ADC, not quite able to do it. Jin taking the final shot, does actually pick up the kill and is able to tank that tower. But look at this. We've already got the rest of GOOF on their way. They are ready for this engage. They want revenge. We can see Red Milk Tea looking for that angle, but he's going to be caught out. Graves getting a huge shot on them, able to do a lot of damage. Atlas is going to get taken out. That is going to be devastating. Steve the Crusader trying to do what they can to get away, but they're not quite able to walk fast enough. Jin, the Virtuoso, picking up yet another kill.
Perpetual Dusk having an absolute pop-off performance so far in this bot lane. 3-0-2, just 8 minutes into the game. 5-1 is the scoreline. Almost 2,500 gold. Advantaged in the pockets of RSL right now, and it's all on Perpetual Dusk. Atlas also, strong early game start. This Graves is going to scale into the late game much better. But Red Milk Tea has shown quite a bit on this Kindred so far. 1-1 for themselves. 3 stacks already completed for them for that Hunter's Mark, and it's gonna mean that attack range coming through just the next time Kindred could squeak an advantage out. Something that Atlas was having a lot of trouble getting last game.
Exactly. That was one thing I was going to say, is that we have already seen 3 stacks on this Kindred far sooner than Atlas was able to get out. So that's going to be a lot of damage coming out very soon. And once they get that extra range, this Jhin is going to be in a lot of trouble. And look at this, Caitlyn, Raccoon getting themselves caught out. The slow and the roots, though, are going to force them to go under tower in order to try and pick up this kill. Perpetual Dusk tanking a tower shot in addition to Evan with an eye. So that means that they're able to force him out of lane, and that is going to be really crucial to try and set this Caitlyn even further behind from a kill perspective, even though they have been able to stay ahead in CS.
Absolutely, and as we look across the map, we've seen that Weakside Veteran able to mostly equalize the CS gap in the top lane, but Rogue Trader has established a little bit of a freeze, and both junglers are going towards that top lane, so I expect there to be a little bit of a brawl either between those 2 top laners or a 2v2 skirmish to break that one up and get Tom Kench back in favor in terms of this lane.
Atlas has decided, I think, to get that Scuttle Crab or the Rift Scuttler, but unfortunately, Red Milk Tea saw that and is like, that's fine, I'm going to go ahead and engage on Cinetrix. Cinetrix having to flash away in order to stay alive, even though we're able to pool. And we do see Graves continuing this rift, able to just kind of sneak it while everything else is going on across the map. That's going to be really important. It's going to let them get a lot of gold and a lot of damage onto these towers. And so that'll allow them to open up these lanes in order to try and do some more. And the empowered recall is going to allow Graves to just be that much more mobile on the map in order to respond to Red Milk Tea.
Definitely, and it is the cost of Vladimir's Ghost and Flash critical summoner spells that could mean that Red Milk Tea could come back into this mid lane to try and punish what they got in the earlier gank. Tornado's going to come out, but not much more is going to come from it. Jhin might be in trouble. No, getting out of there just in time.
No, I think they're letting him get out of there so they can just let this Caitlyn free farm, because if Raccoon wants to play this safe, basically they don't want to give up any more kills. They just want to try and keep farming and keep extending this gold lead even more, which is going to be probably the easiest way for them to get some of this gold back, because that Jhin, unless it's caught out by a Cassiopeia or a Karma root, they're really going to be tricky in order, like if they're able to get that 4th shot off or get those crits, then they're just going to kind of speed around the map.
Absolutely, and so far we got 20 seconds until this next Drake comes up, and I have to imagine it's going to be RSLs for the taking. They're already in the area, and GOOF is just slowly on their way. No teleports are going to really be able to come through unless Rogue Trader really wants to go towards that bottom tower. But so far, RSL have actually conceded the river control so far, and we're going to have to see where the fight goes, as I'm sure it's going to break out any moment now.
They have Ornn is going to use the teleport on the top lane rather than going to bot. So they are choosing to basically say, hey, this bot, I'm not going to be joining that dragon fight should it break out. I'm just going to try and keep Weakside Veteran going on up here. That's a miss knockup. Not going to be the biggest disadvantage. Rogue Trader is going to allow him to pull this wave closer to his turret. We do see the fight starting up right here. We've got the Virtuoso shooting off a shot in the bot lane. That's going to be a nice heal coming out for Red Milk Tea, and this fight, though, is going in the favor of RSL. They are able to get off a couple of kills. Steve is going to get taken out, and that is going to be the Ocean brought on board. That is going to be huge, and actually it looks like Red Milk Tea was able to pick up that dragon.
Yeah, Red Milk Tea able to win that smite fight. Oh, Cinetrix might get shot by that ace in the hole. Might be in a little bit of trouble, but so much damage coming out.
Not quite something they have to worry about just yet.
But what I was going to say is this feels like the exact same scenario as we had in the last game, only this time the teams are in different positions. The one team has 2 Drakes and an Ornn for scaling. The other team, meanwhile, out to a monstrous 5,000 gold lead at just 12 minutes, and you have to wonder, well, is it going to go the same way as it did last time? Last time in about 35 minutes, 33 minutes, actually,
I can hear the groaning from across the internet as I just know we're going into a game 5, and so this could get really, really spicy here.
Yeah, that being said, there's an Ornn, there's DPS, there's a Kindred. The Kindred has marks, and there is late game scaling potential for the side. And meanwhile, Weakside Veteran might be getting caught out by Steve.
They are getting caught out drastically. That's going to be the Abyssal Voyage coming out right here. We have the Root as well from Steve the Crusader. They're able to get the nice target. We see Ornn looking to get this call out. The knockup is going to go wide, and he's not going to manage to get it. Weakside Veteran's going to be able to get away. And unfortunately, we've got Red Milk Tea on the backside, though. That's going to be good use of the Blast Code trying to catch this Virtuoso out.
Oh, no!
Perpetual does, doing so much damage. The auto attack following the Kindred as it jumps over the wall, and that means that Red Milk Tea is going to be taken out. And that is going to be devastating, especially now that the Rift Scuttle has popped up, and that is a Kindred mark.
Yeah, and oh my goodness, Red Milk Tea just going a little too
Ooh,
far
this
forward.
damage that's coming out onto Cinetrix. Random Capital trying to get Cinetrix brought very, very low, but look at that healing damage. That is going to be Vladimir picking up the kill, and that is going to be devastating for Goofy Goobers. It feels like they got a little greedy in this draft, and we're a little bit too cocky, and that means that they're starting to fall behind.
An outplay in the mid lane on a scaling carry that can get on top of you and make life hell? I don't know, kind of sounds like the game we just watched to me. The role reversal just continues and continues as this game keeps going forward, and it's really looking all in favor of RSL thus far, although those two Drakes, the Ornn and the Kindred, still in the way just like last game, and who knows, maybe this story will have a different ending.
You know, it very well could. So what Goof really needs to do at this moment is they need to just relax, take a deep breath, try and stall this out, because like we mentioned, they have that late game scaling. They're ready to take this to the end, but unfortunately, it looks like that RSL's like, nah, we're bringing the end of the world to you way sooner than you think.
Yeah, Ragnarok, indeed. They're going to try and end this one with their lead as quickly as they can. It's not going to come for at least another 10 minutes or so.
With the fancy feet.
Yeah, almost something happening in that mid lane there, but everyone's dodging everything. Gonna be safe for now.
Oh. We are seeing, once again, Kindred picking up that red buff, looking to this top lane. They're taking out the Krugs really quickly, or as quick as they can in order to try and help the Rogue Trader do some work up here. Notice they have the Graves marked, so the Vladimir may not be aware that Kindred is even there. Oh, nope, they're walked over a ward, so there's some pings coming out. Vladimir's been told that Kindred's on her way.
Yeah,
There they are. The Kindred jumping right on top of Cinetrix, but the heals are already going to be coming out. We see a huge knockup coming out here, but that's going to be the flash from Cinetrix, and it's not predicted.
Good flash from
Ooh,
Cinetrix.
and we got a TP coming up from Weakside Veteran jumping right onto Milk Tea. And that means that we got the ultimate from Kindred dropping out the Immortal Bastion, but they're going to be out and killed before the heal has a chance to come through.
Yeah, just gonna escort you right on out of that healing pile, whatever. Over Kunaquire, doesn't know Evan's here.
Doesn't know, and that's going to be a huge knockup and a root and a knock under tower. Perpetual Dusk is unstoppable.
I was talking at the end of the last game how all of the momentum was in Goofy Goober's hands, and Uncle Mo has switched sides of the field this game. It has to feel good for the side of RSL. Everything is going their way. 20 seconds till this next Drake. Raccoon and Choir going to be walking out of spawn. It's eerily similar to the last time an ADC got caught right before a third dragon that just started going away of one team that was ahead for the rest of the game.
That is exactly it. We've got Drake coming up here right now. That's going to be an Ocean Drake, which will be great for RSL. It'll allow them to have some extra mobility, or extra heals, extra sustains, which is what the Goof does not want them to have. They need to end these fights quickly. And unfortunately for them, it just looks like that's not going to be in the cards.
Yeah, and the Dragon going over to RSL quite easily is going to put an end to the Dragon stacking streak for the side of Goofy Goobers, and as a result, their late game hopes are getting a little harder to get to as now lethal stacking starting to come in, but Cinetrix wants some blood!
He wants the blood. He's trying to go for it, but we see that the snake is just a little too slippery. Red Milk Tea was waiting on the other side on top of a ward, and unfortunately, they're going to be jumped on by the Tom Kench, and that is going to be a huge amount of damage coming out. The Ord is not able to do enough work to save their
jungler. Unfortunately, they did manage to pick up the Gromp, which does mean that I believe that they picked up another stack on there.
Yes.
Steve, though, is going to get slowed under the tower, and he's going to take another tower shot. That's going to be another kill for weak side veteran. It looks, oh, look at this. That's a huge amount of damage from the Jhin with the flash auto to get the kill. Oh my goodness, Goofy Goobers tried to tell Murphy to go to the store and get some mustard donuts, but he got those and he showed up with some ketchup ones as well.
Oh my goodness. Everything is going the way of RSL in this game, and I don't want to say it's over, but if you're in this spot going into a game 5, you've got to feel great about your odds in terms of how you're feeling, the way that your team is working together synergistically. It's the other team that has to make a play to stop you. It's a great place to be in game 4.
It is a fantastic place to be, and you can already see so much confidence on the side of RSL as they just know how far ahead they are. They're like, we got this, it's all good, we just got to keep going, keep on going, and that is going to not going to be game yet, but that is just going to be so difficult for Ragnarok to come out ahead in this.
Yeah, absolutely, and things just keep getting worse. This gold lead going out to 9,000 now. Baron spawning in 40 seconds, and that can be when RSL really start to put the pedal to the metal and see how fast they can end this one. Now, don't want to go too quickly or they can throw away the lead that they've gotten, but things are definitely looking their way.
They are really looking their way. If this Jhin gets taken out, that is going to be a nice bit of gold in whoever's pocket managed to pick up that kill. Same thing with the Tom Kench and the Graves. It's just going to be really good for whoever gets it. We've got a TP coming out here in the mid lane, so we are going to be seeing random capitals come to join this fight. The Ace of the Hole is going to get shot out. However, Sinitrix is going to go down before it does manage to find a strike, and that means that they're going to have to get Tom Kench eaten and taken away. The Orin Horn Call is going to come out. It's going to get the knockup. We see Vladimir is going to get shredded by the poison from the Cassiopeia. A huge ultimate shot coming out from the Virtuoso as he manages to get a nice kill. Red Milk Tea, though, is going to take out Evan with an eye. We've got the Kindred ult dropping on top of the Baron. Baron's going to start firing off some shots. They're going to leave so they don't end up giving over another kill. That is going to be the Vladimir and Evan taken out of the equation, and that means that that is going to be a nice bit of gold put into the pockets of Goofy Goobers. But is it going to be enough? That's the real question.
I remember Kindred getting some late game shutdowns to provide false hope was a part of last game's script, so I'm not too surprised to see it once again, although I will say the more this game looks like the last one, it's just so interesting to me.
It really is kind of a mirror match in more ways than one, and it's going to be kind of funny to see exactly how things end up playing out as this whole game continues. We can see that Goof has kept their head. They are doing a fantastic job trying to play around what little resources they have. Weak side veteran is waiting out these recalls, does actually manage to stop Red Milk Tea. So we're going to basically see him revealing, kind of being like, it's okay. I'm just going to kind of pressure this and then try and do some work here in the bot lane.
Yeah, and we have 50 seconds until this next Ocean Drake spawns, and it's going to be really tough for Goofy Goobers to contest it at all. And
yeah, they're just basically not going to be able to make it there in time.
Yeah, and not being on Soul Point means that even if they get it, then it's going to not be that big of a deal. In fact, it may be RSL's choice to trade it for the Baron instead.
You know, it very well could. We do see Karma deciding to back, though, so that means that they're going to be stepping away from the Baron. I feel like both of these teams are probably going to be looking for one more engage, one more pick before this Dragon fight, and it's going to be kind of interesting to see exactly which team decides to go for it. We see Vladimir already stepping up towards the Baron, trying to see if that's what they're doing. Drake has already got the rest of the members on Goof or on RSL down there and ready and waiting.
Yeah, and it is going to go over to RSL, no contest. The members of Goof trying to get over to that Baron, secure vision, basically just make sure it's harder for RSL to take it. See if they find too much more.
I don't think they will. I feel like they went to the Baron just a little bit too late, so they weren't able to trade objective for objective. We do see Red Milk walking over the mine, revealing themselves. They did clear out all the vision that was over there, though.
Yeah, and that is definitely good, and I think that's what Goofy Goobers have to do. You never get to contest that Drake ever, so just try and prevent the next objective from going down, and that is in the Baron. And the way they've lit up the river, it does mean that Evan with an eye does have to come through and clear it out, and all that vision pretty much gone already. So trying to prevent the Baron take, but it could be possible for RSL as soon as they can find an opening for it.
Yeah, it's just, oh my goodness. They're already starting this Baron, trying to take it. We know that Goof doesn't have vision of it right now, so this sneak is taking quite some time. If Goof is able to figure out what they're doing, this could end up turning around on RSL.
Yeah, they threw a blue ward in the pit, and it means it's know what's going to happen. RSL smartly get off the Drake. They go back to pushing. They find some poke with that deadly flourish, and Steve might get caught.
Oh my goodness, Steve, you got to be very, very careful. We got weak side jumping in on Red Milk Tea. That's going to be a nice bit of damage coming off on them already. That's going to be a huge root, as unfortunately we're going to see Sillatrix take down Steve the Crusader. This is going to be an absolutely massive fight. We have the Kindred ultimate dropping almost immediately. Fighting inside of that is going to be huge, but it's not going to be enough. That is a massive explosion from Vladimir, picking up the double kill. Raccoon trying to do some work, but unfortunately they're just going to get jumped on by the Tom Kench, who has been unbenched. Rogue Trader is going to get just shredded by the Graves, and that is going to be huge. But in the same time, we see in this bot lane, the Cassiopeia able to pick up turrets, trying to get some extra gold, but that is going to be Baron now going over for the side of RSL.
Yeah, turrets be damned, I think. It's so much in the favor of RSL off of that play. They're going to grab this tower. The Baron. They're going to stop Cassiopeia from taking more towers, and Random Capital's trying to get a little more gold for a final push, but it shouldn't go their way, the way this game has been going. Baron got a little low, 27. If Karma had thrown the Q at the right time, that could have changed the entire game. Not meant to be. That's for another timeline. That being said, though, Baron on the side of RSL, they are going to look to put an end to this one. And I imagine they're going to separate 1-4 or 1-3-1. Cinetrix on the side. Maybe Tom Kench also going to be on the side. And just let those minions go to town on the towers.
Yeah, that is 6 towers down on the side of Goofy Goobers. They have managed to take down all of the tier 1s, which in all honesty is a little bit terrifying. Or sorry, not all the tier 1s, just the tier 1 in the top lane and the tier 1 and 2 in the bot lane. But it just the fact that they have to push in so far into RSL territory with this Baron power play up is just really, really scary for Goof, and it is really risky for them to make any pressure plays while this is up if someone doesn't have teleport. Horn making good use of their teleport being available, able to do something in the top lane. But at the same time, it's getting really, really dicey.
Yeah, weak side veteran picking a fight in this top side here on Red Milk Tea.
Well, Red Milk Tea trying to get some engage. We have the Abyssal Voyage coming out as weak side veteran decides to try and continue this engage, pulling it under tower. Red Milk jumping over the wall almost, but not realizing he's got some dangerous folks who are waiting for him. Perpetual Dusk puts out the lights on the god
Oh my
of death.
goodness!
That is going to be huge, and Cinetrix going on a killing spree, just draining the life out of Raccoon, means that there is just nothing that the Goofs can do in order to respond, and Ragnarok has just started to crack this open, and we are starting to look even more like a Game 5 is on its way. Look at that, nice stun onto the Graves, locking him under tower, but that's going to be a nice Janna Shield and Monsoon in order to get the healing right back up, and it's looking to me like it never even happened.
Yeah, I think Goofy Goobers got a little ahead of themselves with this draft. They tried to basically pick the RSL draft that failed last game, and it's going to fail as well. So now we're going to get to a very exciting Game 5 as we start to hit the Nexus. But first, one more fight.
One more fight, lots of damage coming out right here. We are going to see Atlas go on a rampage to take out the Caitlyn. And you know what's really funny? That not only is this basically a mirror match where it started off looking exactly the same and then started playing out exactly the same, it ended exactly the same. We had a Baron pull. We know we had a bad draft last time.
Yeah, and well, I've seen salty runbacks before in competitive League of Legends games. I'm not sure I've ever seen a salty runback of the other team's draft, and maybe we've seen why. That being said, though, it was a very dominant game from the side of RSL, who have really shown up in this series and kept it close 2-2 now as we head into the final game of momentum. Surely going to be on their side.
Surely going to be on their side, and it's going to be just, oh, I am excited going into this game number 5. Everyone stick around, check out that FOF Connect, look at that merch store, and start to guess which team is going to be the one who has their logo on a hoodie.
A little bit of light, trying to find my heart. Funny when I Wow.